Episode 11. Choose a Gift. Violet was very angry. How could he even think like that? Violet, what do you think? Logan asked. Infuriated, Violet resisted the urge to lash at him and replied with a flattering smile. Yes, I will pay attention next time. Sir, don't worry, I have never thought of you that way. Logan suddenly frowned. Violet looked at him and was a little scared. Violet, has anyone ever told you that you look very weird when you smile? You shouldn't be smiling very often. A solemn face suits you better, the man said again. Violet silently cursed him because of his profanity. What he had said was too much. He didn't even want to see her smile. He actually said that she looked weird. Why didn't he directly say that she was ugly? If she didn't need this job desperately, she would have hit him really hard. He deserved a beating. However, she knew that raising 2 children was very stressful. She knew that she was the only one responsible for providing for the little kids, and for that, she was willing to do anything that was needed. She had gotten this job, and she was very thankful for it. Violet suppressed her anger and immediately put away her smile and obediently said, Yes. Logan did not look at her anymore. He nodded in satisfaction and replied, Go and buy a gift. Send that gift to Rayleigh Entertainment. Although Logan did not specify, Violet knew that the gift was for Elizabeth. She recalled the conversation that had happened earlier. Did he just ask her to give Elizabeth a gift? Violet widened her eyes in surprise and immediately responded, Sir, can you send someone else? After saying this, she instantly regretted it. She knew that she had crossed the line and that this could be really bad for her. She was scared. Logan frowned. He stopped writing, looked at Violet coldly, and asserted, Violet, are you rejecting the first task I have for you on the first day of work? What do you think you are doing? How dare you? Violet was very helpless. She knew that what she did was very wrong. She was his assistant. Not only did she have to help him with his work, but she also had to help him with his private matters. She couldn't just openly refuse to do things he told her to do. What had she been thinking? She really didn't want to go buy gifts for Elizabeth because she would definitely be able to recognize her at a glance. It was her first day at work, and she had already made her boss so angry. It was a foolish thing to do. She instantly remembered that Logan did not want her to laugh, so she said in all seriousness, Sir, that's not what I meant. You misunderstood me. I just think it would be great if you gifted her things in person. Logan became even colder when he heard that. He said loudly, How many people do you think this company needs to support every year? The topic changed too quickly. Violet did not react for a moment. She asked, in confusion, I'm sorry, what? Logan sighed. He threw down the golden pen in his hand and said coldly, Do you think your time is more important than mine? What have I hired you for then? Violet was shocked by his roar. She did not know what to say. Sorry, sir, I was wrong. There won't be a next time. I'll go, now, she replied. Go, Logan yelled back. Violet kept cursing Logan in her heart. She had left things to fate now. She took a cab to the most high-end shopping mall in the city to choose a gift. When she thought about what Elizabeth and Chloe had done to her, she wanted to go to the market and buy the cheapest fake necklace available, but she knew she couldn't do that. If Logan found out, He would be infuriated, and that was the last thing that she wanted at this point in time. After having ticked him off so much, it was best that she did what he ordered her to do. After all, she needed this job really badly, right? Violet thought about the possible scenario and quickly entered the shopping mall. Choosing a gift might seem like something difficult for most people, but not for her. Logan was very rich. He valued his own dignity more, so Violet only needed to buy the most expensive gift she could find. Violet did not even think and directly bought the most expensive piece of jewelry in a jewelry store, a $15,000 diamond necklace. When she went to the billing counter, she realized that Logan hadn't given her the money. All of her money wasn't enough to buy this jewelry. At first, the staff was full of enthusiasm, but when they saw that Violet could not afford it, their attitude changed. She remembered that Logan had told her that when she was leaving, she should take the invoice to Corey for reimbursement. Violet helplessly walked to the side and called Corey. Corey was at the Department of Science and Technology to handle some work that day. It was impossible for him to rush to the mall at this hour. Violet didn't want to run back and forth. She instantly decided to call Logan. Just when Violet thought that Logan would not answer the phone, Logan said coldly, "What's wrong?" "Sir, I am in the mall choosing presents for Miss Elizabeth, but everything here is so expensive. I don't have enough money to buy anything," Violet quickly replied. "How much do you need? Go and ask Corey for money, get the gift, and then head back to the office." Logan then decisively hung up the phone. Violet was very helpless. The only option she had was to call Corey to tell him what had happened. Corey had been working with Logan for quite some years now. He quickly made a bank transfer to Violet. Violet paid and quickly wrapped up the necklace before rushing to Rayleigh Entertainment. She wanted to give the gift to Elizabeth's assistant or manager so she wouldn't have to meet her. Coincidentally, she met her as soon as she entered Rayleigh Entertainment. Elizabeth was shocked. She looked at Violet, who was standing in front of her, and exclaimed, "Violet? It is actually you! Are you Logan's assistant now?" Violet was not expecting this at all. Now everyone in the Kingston family would know that she had returned. "That's right. It's me. I'm back. I'm going to take back what belongs to me," she said calmly. Elizabeth was not like Chloe. She was much more clever. There was a group of colleagues behind her. She was shocked for a few seconds, but immediately regained her usual elegance and gentleness. She smiled and said, "We are all a part of one family. We are inseparable. Back then, you ran away from home in a burst of anger. Now you're finally willing to come back. I'm really happy for you. If you have time, let's grab some coffee and catch up." Violet smiled and looked at her. She was no longer the easily angered Violet from 4 years ago. She also knew how to react now. She had learned that arguing with them was useless. "I'm sorry, I won't be able to join you. I have a lot of work piled up for the day. I'm still very busy. Today, I'm here on Logan's behalf to give you a present. I have to head back to work now," she replied faintly. "Violet, you've come to Rayleigh, to my workplace. I have to treat you. Have a cup of coffee before you leave. Don't leave like that. Or at least let me take you out somewhere. Please," Elizabeth insisted. Violet instantly realized how clever she was. She knew that the two sisters would be cunning, but every time they crossed levels that she had not even imagined. How could someone be so fake? Didn't they have any limits? They could really go to any extent if they wished to. Elizabeth said something to the assistant behind her. and she immediately forced her to go for coffee with Elizabeth. Violet was very puzzled, and she didn't know what to do in this situation. Should she react, or should she just let things flow the way that they were? After closing the door of the room, Elizabeth stood by the window. She wore a tight white dress and looked very elegant and beautiful. Violet, you will resign from the Smith Group immediately. You must leave Logan immediately. I am telling you, just do it, Elizabeth asserted in a demanding tone. Violet was surprised and did not respond. Episode 12. Violet's befitting response. Violet walked over and stood on the other side of the window. She looked at the scenery outside the window. Are you worried that he will fall in love with me? Her indifferent tone made Elizabeth somewhat flustered and exasperated. Why did you come back? What else do you think you can use to fight us? Violet, in this world, money and power are everything, Elizabeth mocked. That's what you think. I believe that justice still exists in this world. Elizabeth, you guys killed Grandpa for money. How do you guys live with yourself? Violet responded furiously. Don't blame us for something we have never done. Mom and Dad would never even think of doing something like that. Elizabeth snapped at her. If you've brought me here with you just to utter complete nonsense, then I'm leaving. Violet opened the door and left. Elizabeth turned around. She was raging. Violet, I order you to resign from the Smith Group immediately. Even if you don't resign, I will make him fire you. If it goes to that point and it leads to a fight between us, everyone will be in trouble. Then let's wait and see, Violet yelled back, no longer paying attention to her, and closing the door. After Violet left, Elizabeth, who was pretending to be strong and aloof, could no longer maintain it. She paced back and forth and clenched her hand while she called her mother. Her heart was beating in her throat. Mom. Elizabeth, what happened? Elizabeth, I am in a meeting right now. I'll call you later, okay? Miranda responded. Elizabeth was now a treasure of the Kingston family, and she had to exercise a great deal of care in whatever she did. Her relationship with Logan could give the Kingston family endless business. Mom, just listen to me. This is important. Elizabeth cried out in despair. In these 4 years, this was the first time she was so flustered. Miranda noticed that something was wrong with her and came out of the meeting room. Elizabeth, what exactly happened? Did Logan fight with you? The Kingston family thought that Elizabeth and Logan were dating. Little did they know that Logan didn't really love her. He just wanted to make it up to her so that she didn't hate him. Such a relationship was meaningless and was in imminent danger. Mom, Violet has returned. She is now by Logan's side and has become his assistant. If he finds out that I'm not... Elizabeth revealed all in one breath. Miranda loudly interrupted her words. Elizabeth, you have to remember that the person who slept with Logan that night was you. If you keep this secret, it doesn't matter what's real and what's fake. As for Violet, all the evidence has been destroyed. She does not have any evidence. So, don't panic. Go home and we'll discuss this. Mom, no matter what, I absolutely can't let her get any closer to him. I don't want to see her again, Elizabeth demanded. Okay, I understand. I promise I'll do something, Miranda replied. Miranda hung up the phone, and her eyes flashed with a trace of viciousness. Violet, you really are one hell of a girl. You actually dared to come back? It was raining on the way back, and Violet didn't have an umbrella. Logan told her to rush back to the company within an hour. She had already wasted so much time on this nonsense with Elizabeth, and so she didn't want to waste any more time. She started walking fast and stood by the roadside to stop a taxi. When she returned to the office, she was drenched in the rain and looked a little embarrassed. Thinking of Elizabeth threatening her before she left, she was still a little nervous. After all, she was just an assistant. If Logan really listened to her and fired her, she would have to find a new job. However, she also felt she wouldn't have to worry about this. She felt that although Logan was narcissistic, he was definitely not a man who would be influenced by a woman. She also remembered that Logan had a slight misophobia. If she entered the office like this, he would probably scold her. So Violet decided to go to the washroom to tidy up. There was basically no one on this floor. It was just the three of them, plus a few secretaries. There was also a corridor between the secretary's room and the boss's room. Violet looked left and right. It was lunchtime, so she thought no one would come, especially since there were only 2 men on this floor. Corey had not returned from the work he had been doing outside. Logan's office had a separate bathroom, so it was naturally impossible for him to come here. She took off her glasses with relief. The eye cream she applied to her face was soaked in the rain, and she looked like a horrible ghost. She splashed water on her face. Her messy hair spread out on both sides of her face. She took out a stack of cleaning tissues from her bag, undid the first 2 buttons of her shirt, and began to dry the water on her collarbone. However, she did not know that Logan was at the door looking at her. He folded his hands and leaned against the door, looking at her, calmly. Violet's left hand pulled open her collar, and her right hand was using a tissue to wipe her face, bit by bit. Her sparkling eyes could be seen as she washed her face. Logan was standing at such an angle he could see her neck and her sexy collarbone. Under her collarbone, there was a plump bulge. She had a curvy and attractive figure. If she wasn't Logan's secretary, she might have aroused some interest in him. Instead, he just felt angry as he looked at her. Why did this woman occupy the entire washroom during working hours? She also took off her clothes in public and didn't care about anyone looking. If other employees had seen him looking at her like that, it would have been hard to quell any rumors. She had beautiful skin that was very attractive to look at. What was she doing at work? Logan thought a series of things at one go. Violet felt as if her body was heating up under someone's gaze. As she raised her eyes, she immediately stood up in fear. She saw a man's reflection in the mirror. He was very tall and had a playful expression. His lips were tightly pursed. She looked up and saw that it was Logan. She was so shocked that her lipstick fell into the sink. A tissue fell on the floor, and she bent down to pick it up. Her entire chest was revealed. Damn it! Logan looked away immediately. He felt that she was doing this all deliberately just to get his attention. He forced himself to remain calm. "Is this how you worked at Hall Group 2? He asked. Her work was average. She liked to talk back to her boss and showed off her abilities all the time. No wonder she was able to become the secretary of director at Hall Group, Logan sneered. Violet did not know what he meant, but it was indeed her fault that she did not get back to work in time. She quickly apologized. She knew that Logan was not wrong in saying any of this. I'm sorry, sir. I know how much untidiness bothers you, so she replied. You think I was wrong? Not only did you not manage your duties well, but you also like to answer back aggressively? He responded in anger. Logan's impression of Violet was worsening by the second. No, no, sir, that's not what I meant, Violet asserted, sheepishly. You really know how to make use of what you have. Logan smiled, coldly, suppressing the fire that was surging up from his lower abdomen. Violet did not know what he meant. She had just tidied up her appearance. She did not understand what Logan was saying. It's my fault. I should just leave, now. No matter what, she had to apologize first. She had to listen to him and do as he said if she were to be given her salary. Looking like that, Logan was even angrier. Is my secretary that pathetic? Or do you want people to talk about how I treat my employees harshly? Something had probably not gone right for him during the day. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so mean. Violet took a deep breath and smiled sweetly at Logan. Please, tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do that, she murmured, utterly confused by his behavior. Looking at her attitude, Logan knew that she didn't think she was wrong. She was just faking it. He wanted to tell her who was boss. He wanted to tell her how wrong she was in doing what she did. Episode 13. Real Face. Come with me to the party tonight. Go to Corey's office now and get dressed. Properly. Logan snapped at Violet. Why? I'm all drenched. I want to get off from work and go home, Violet said. She wanted to take a shower, lie down on her bed, and talk to Adam and Amy. Those were the happiest moments of her day. Her kids were the light of her life, and she loved every moment that she spent with them. She missed them while she was at work, too. And now, Logan wanted her to come with him? It wasn't fair. Moreover, Corey had not told her that she would also be attending the party, so she was completely unprepared. Why did she suddenly have to work overtime? It was the worst thing you could ask of an employee. Everyone hated working overtime. Who wouldn't like to go home after a long day at work anyway? Violet wailed in her heart. What's wrong? You want to disobey me? Again? Logan was happy to see her so upset. He put his hands in his pockets and looked at Violet, taking in her sad expression. It's okay if you don't want to work, Logan added. No. I can work overtime, Violet responded hastily. If she was fired on her first day of work, she would never be able to find a job in Los Angeles. Violet quickly nodded her head to tell her boss that she would surely be accompanying him. Don't act so secretive in the future. You don't look that great anyway. If you continue to behave this way, the others will surely hate you, Logan remarked sarcastically. Violet turned her back and stuck her tongue out. She did not realize that Logan had seen everything from the mirror. Don't put on an act in front of me. You better behave yourself. Otherwise, you will have to bear the consequences, he warned. Violet stared at him as he continued to be mean. She was fuming with rage. I will give you an hour to arrange everything. Then you can meet me in my office, Logan instructed as he looked at his watch. How can an hour be enough? She had no idea where to buy clothes, and to make matters worse, she had to buy new clothes before she even got her salary. What on earth is going on? Violet thought to herself. Logan must be messing with her, right? She looked at him suspiciously. However, she only saw irritation and disgust on his handsome face. If he hated her this much, why did he want her to accompany him to the cocktail party? It almost felt like he was deliberately trying to get under her skin or punish her. Why are you still standing here? Is an hour a lot of time? Okay then, half an hour, Logan said mercilessly and turned around to leave. "Oh, no!" she called out, trying to stop him. It was in vain, though, and she found herself feeling very anxious. She didn't know what to do. She wanted to reach out and grab his gray suit and beg him to let her go, but she had decided on one thing. She would never question him, ever again. She used all her strength to control herself. She could not provoke him anymore. Otherwise, it would become really hard for her to work here. He was really annoying. Violet sighed. She turned around, wiped the washing table, and was about to leave when she realized that when she was speaking to Logan earlier, the button of her white shirt had fallen off. Her chest was revealed. Oh my God, she exclaimed, and quickly covered her chest. No wonder Logan was mocking her. Did he think she did all of this on purpose? She didn't know what to do. She was so confused. Couldn't he have just told her? She knew her figure was not as bad, and Haley often made fun of her and told her that her chest was very attractive. Men liked women with attractive bodies. She still thought that Chloe was much prettier than her, which is why Lionel chose her all those years ago. She shrugged off her thoughts and took a deep breath. She quickly headed to Corey's office and took her phone to search for all that she needed to know about the banquet. When Logan returned to his office, Corey was busy handling his things. He packed up and prepared to return to his office. When he reached the door, Logan stopped him. "Is there anything else?" Corey said. "Yes, I will bring her to the party tonight," Logan announced. Her? Corey realized that he was talking about Violet. "But she is your secretary," Corey blurted. This had never happened before. Logan would always go to the parties alone or took some female celebrity along with him. If Elizabeth found out, wouldn't it stir up a fuss? Isn't this a secretary's basic responsibility? Logan glanced at him as he sat in the office chair. He picked up a stack of documents on the table and looked at them. He wanted to find out if she had come to work with him for any other hidden purpose or just to work. He was also developing these strange feelings for her. This was very different. Logan felt that he needed to verify it. "Then what about Miss Elizabeth?" Corey asked. Logan and Elizabeth were not really together, but to the world, they were very famous people. He was the owner of the Smith Group, and she was a very popular movie star. They often attended events together as professionals. There were even people who especially supported them being together. Those people felt that Logan and Elizabeth were very compatible and meant to be. "It's her birthday today. Let her celebrate with her family," Logan said, dismissively. "Violet has just gotten the job. She needs to prove herself," he added, coldly. Despite Logan's curt statement, Corey couldn't help but wonder if Logan should take Violet with him. She wouldn't know anyone at the party. She might even feel very embarrassed there. Nevertheless, Corey did not dare disagree with his idea. He knew that the moment something went wrong, he would have to hire another secretary for him. It was too difficult. It was not easy to have someone that Logan was satisfied with. He must not scare her away again. There is nothing wrong with it. As a secretary, she must do all of this. Unless she doesn't want to do it anymore, Logan continued. Corey wanted to try and convince him otherwise, but he also felt that Logan had been frustrated recently. He thought about it and decided not to do it. He would just treat this as part of Violet's training. "I'll tell Tommy to get something that she can wear," Corey offered. He could not possibly let her wear her work clothes there. "No need. Do your own work. Don't worry about anything else." Logan threw a stack of thick documents over the table. Isn't this something that will only be completed next week? Couldn't he give others some free time? Wouldn't it be better to finish it earlier? Logan rolled his eyes at him. He felt that Corey was questioning him too much today. Corey looked at him suspiciously. He then headed towards the desk with the documents. He saw Logan holding his phone in his hands. No one knew what he was doing. What about Violet? Since she is going to dinner with you, shouldn't she get dressed? Corey was still worried. Don't meddle in my business. Why was Corey being so intrusive? Logan was a little angry. Was work more important? Or were women more important? Why did his assistant care so much about Violet? Why do you care so much? Just focus on your work. You're already married. Why do you even care? He looked at Corey coldly. He lowered his head and continued to type on his phone. He did not realize what he had just said. I am worried about my job. What does this have to do with my marriage? Corey was extremely confused. However, the last thing he wanted to do was argue with Logan. He knew that nothing could ever come out of it. He had to work hard and pray that nothing bad would happen at the dinner. Actually, this was not a particularly important party. But because the Alexander family had always been the sole sponsor of this event, and as director of the Smith Group, Logan's presence was very important. There was an annual award ceremony too, and so he just had to be there. Initially, he had decided that he wouldn't attend, but then he changed his mind because he wanted to see how Violet behaved when facing strangers. He also wanted to see if there was someone she knew there. This time, his reasons to attend were very different. Episode 14. Violet excels sophistication. Noah Smith had recently returned to his country to handle a case. He had worked very hard, but the result hadn't been that great. A client had invited him to dinner to relax. As soon as he walked in, he heard a commotion outside. He thought it was probably some big star. He shook his head and quickened his pace. Haley called him and asked if he had arrived. She gave him her seat number and asked him to wait for a while. There was an award ceremony before the dinner officially began. Haley was the planner for this event. The company had given her the responsibility for this, so she naturally had to pay attention to the entire process. She wanted everything to go smoothly. As nervous as she was, she had everything planned so that she could get things going the way that she wanted. With Noah around, she would be even more anxious. It was a lovely evening, and many celebrities would be attending the party because of Logan. After a short award ceremony, it was time for dinner. Everyone at the dinner party wanted a chance to be able to talk to Logan so that they could take maximum benefit from work. They wanted to make the most out of the situation, knowing that he was the owner of Smith Group. Business ties with him could help them a great deal in the long run. Every year, Logan brought along a female star to accompany him. Just as everyone was looking forward to see which female star Logan would bring this year, the silver gray Rolls Royce slowly stopped on the red carpet of the hotel. The management team suddenly became alert. The cheers, whistles, and the sound of the cameras were incessant. They merged into the liveliest welcome song, just to welcome the most anticipated person of the night. All eyes were on Logan's car. Everyone was anxiously waiting to see who it would be. The driver got out of the car and opened the door. Corey also got out of the passenger seat. He was still confused. Why did the boss sit in the back seat with Violet? Why did Violet seem to be a different person tonight? Why did Tommy send her clothes over? It all seemed so confusing. Everyone was making up different stories in their heads. Tommy could be considered one of Logan's few friends. Logan looked very attractive, as all eyes were on him. Corey looked at his boss, but Logan's face was cold. He could not tell what he was thinking. Logan was wearing a black suit, a black tie, and a white silk shirt. He looked as handsome as ever. Violet looked very attractive too. She looked pretty and sexy at the same time. Most importantly, none of the reporters knew her as a famous personality. All of them wondered who this girl was. Was she someone new the company had hired? Was she Logan's companion? Violet hadn't attended such an occasion in a very long time. It was wrong to say that she was not nervous. Although she had been going to such events when she was working in the hall groups too, no one knew her there anyway. Also, Noah always helped her, giving her a sense of security and making her feel less anxious. Now, although Violet had returned, she was not ready to think about who she used to be in the past. Logan had mercilessly pushed her into the spotlight, and Violet couldn't help but feel scared. She felt nervous, knowing that all the attention would be on her because she was by Logan's side tonight. She didn't like much attention. It made her awkward, and she always felt very uncomfortable. She was wondering if anyone from the Kingston family would be here, but it didn't seem likely. How could they be here? Even if they were, she didn't know how she would face them. But she had no choice. From the moment she got out of the car, she had to smile and be the perfect secretary. She followed Corey and Logan inside. Under the lights, her silver dress looked even more gorgeous. Violet looked like a mermaid that had just surfaced from the sea. She was wearing white-colored heels that made her look very tall. Although no one knew who this woman was, she attracted attention because she was so beautiful. When people saw her with Logan, they started talking about it. The internet was filled with discussions about them. Who was this woman anyway? Within a matter of minutes, she became known as Logan Alexander's new female companion. Of course, the reporters and fans started to inquire about Violet's identity. Fortunately, it was only late autumn, and it was not cold. Otherwise, she would be very cold. She originally wanted to rent a suit, but the clothes Tommy had given her were all sexy and revealing. She didn't even want to wear the clothes she had been given, but when she thought of Logan's displeasure, she set aside her own choices and simply abided. She blushed and slid on her skirt with her back exposed. Her hair was long and naturally curly, just enough to cover her back. Her entire look was outstanding and made her look like a diva. The dress also had underwear with it. Violet took a shower in Corey's room. It took her about 10 minutes to put on her clothes. Ever since she had left Hall Group, she hadn't worn something like this, so she wasn't too comfortable with it. When she came out, Tommy snapped his fingers. "We all have good taste. This dress looks breathtakingly beautiful on you." Violet's silver gray dress looked absolutely astounding on her. Her curvy body was revealed in the dress, and it was evident from Violet's posture that she was not able to control it. She was petite, and her figure was curvy and exquisite. Her body was proportioned just perfectly. In this dress, she looked like a lovely mermaid. When the lights fall on you, you will look even better than all the celebrities here. All the artists were full of praises for her. Violet, on the other hand, felt that she didn't even stand a chance against Elizabeth and Chloe. Otherwise, Lionel would not have abandoned her and chosen someone else. Lionel was her childhood friend, the only man she truly loved all these years. However, being praised like this, she still blushed, feeling the kindness that she had not felt for a long time. "Thank you," she smiled shyly, and Tommy pushed her into Logan's office. Because she kept her head down, she did not notice that the moment Logan saw her, his eyes suddenly lit up. "Who is that woman? She looks so good," one of the reporters asked. The reporters kept taking photos of her. Violet's curly hair blew with the breeze, revealing her pure white skin. The cameras seemed to highlight her presence. Even the female celebrities who followed behind could not attract the reporters' attention as Violet had. Violet had all eyes on her since she looked so beautiful. Her figure looked absolutely outstanding in this dress. She was wearing a luxury brand, limited edition. What was the background of this woman? I've never seen her before. Could she be a new artist recruited by the Smith Pictures? Someone said. But it's impossible for Smith Pictures to not reveal any information about her. I don't think she's a new artist of the Smith Pictures. Her temperament doesn't resemble a female celebrity either. Another voice chimed in. What you said makes sense. She wasn't even holding Logan Alexander's arm. She definitely isn't Logan's companion, someone added, and on it went. The curiosity surrounding this mysterious woman knew no bounds. Everyone wanted to know her. Some wanted to be her, but this time he wasn't seen to be holding Violet's arm. This made people even more curious. There were many posts circulating online on various forums, guessing who Violet was and what relationship she had with Logan. Then, someone recognized Violet as Logan's newly recruited secretary. This new piece of information made everyone even more excited. Logan's secretary was even better than the female celebrities. It was amazing. Most female celebrities could only occasionally come into contact with Logan, but a secretary could always stay by Logan's side. A secretary might even be the one to represent Logan at such events in the future. Everyone was talking about what they saw, and it was only becoming more exciting with time. The possibilities of how this relationship could flourish with time only increased everyone's anticipation, and they all wanted to know how things would unfold between the two of them. Episode 15. It has something to do with it. For a moment, everyone started eyeing Violet with envy. Why didn't Elizabeth accompany Logan to attend the event? This woman looks very ordinary. She's definitely nothing compared to Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a star. She looks so much better with Logan than this woman. She's definitely nothing compared to Elizabeth. With Elizabeth's fans commenting on the forum, a wave of voices immediately echoed. But there were also people who were mocking and ridiculing her. Does Elizabeth really think she's a queen bee? She's so full of herself. How can someone call themselves a queen bee themselves? She's just strange. She's a secretary. Do you understand secretary? At least she can help Logan with his work. What can Elizabeth do? She's an actress. What else does she have except good looks? At least this woman is of some help to him. One of them wrote. This sentence angered Elizabeth's fans and immediately caused a war of words. Elizabeth registered her private account and spread rumors that Violet's secretary position was obtained through connections. Logan was not satisfied with her. Only then did she feel a little bit better. This was all that she could do at this point in time when so much was going against her. But when she saw the picture of Violet and Logan walking up the stairs side by side on the phone screen, that bit of pride immediately disappeared. She gritted her teeth in anger. She should have been the one walking with Logan. Elizabeth threw the phone away. Lulu was very considerate and asked her to go home. However, seeing Violet appear on the screen and shine unexpectedly, Elizabeth was not in the mood to eat. Lulu was Logan's nickname. There were not many people in this world who could call him that. Elizabeth was one of them. Looking at it this way, Logan must still care about her, right? It was all because of Violet, that slut who racked her brains to seduce Lulu. "What did I teach you?" Miranda frowned. "You are Logan's girlfriend. Remember your own identity." "Mommy." Elizabeth gritted her teeth and threw the phone to her mother. "Look at this first, and then we'll talk." Because it was Elizabeth's birthday, Chloe and Lionel also stayed home to eat. They curiously leaned over to look at the content on the phone. "Mom, that woman!" Chloe exclaimed. She vigilantly looked at Lionel, who was beside her, and then looked at Miranda, who had a tense expression on her face. It should be fine. Even if Violet came back, Lionel would not go back to her. He was dating Chloe now. Why did she come back? How dared she come back? Isn't she afraid that my parents will make her disappear from the face of the planet? How dare she appear so publicly and so openly? She really is shameless. Chloe mumbled in her head. Mommy, Elizabeth is right. She is indeed a slut. She angered grandfather so much that he died, right? Chloe smiled sweetly. Miranda relaxed her brows and touched up her precious daughter's hair. Chloe was really becoming smarter and smarter. Under Miranda's guidance, she was becoming a spitting image of her mother. Chloe is right. So what if she came back? Grandfather was angered to death by her. She only came back to Los Angeles to fend for a living because she could not live overseas. It was not us who lost face. Miranda responded arrogantly. Logan always knew Violet was a member of the Kingston family. Since he couldn't hide it from her, he might as well make the first move. Elizabeth was the hope of the entire family. They relied on her to get benefits from Logan. Hence, Chloe immediately comforted her gently. Elizabeth, don't be afraid. She's evil, and she will face the consequences for what she's doing. I assure you she will. Violet has done wrong all the time. Whoever does wrong things has to face the consequences for that after all, right? Chloe held Elizabeth's hand in her palm. Lionel was picking up vegetables. Upon hearing this, he immediately stopped. He looked at Uncle Charles, who also had a bad expression on his face, and turned around. He picked up a piece of ribs and put it onto Uncle Charles's plate. You eat the rib bone. It's very delicious, Lionel stated. Charles didn't trust Miranda and Chloe anymore. After what they had done, it was hard to believe them and trust them for what they were doing. Violet, why did you come back after all these years? I don't even know how she is now. Charles thought. Charles, who was still feeling uneasy after knowing that Violet had returned, was startled. He wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and forced a smile at Lionel. Miranda reproached him. Both of you should get married now. It's been so many years that you're dating. I think it's time, finally. She was very satisfied with her son-in-law. She put down her phone and temporarily ignored Violet's matter. Miranda believed that Violet was like an ant that she could easily stomp to death. She believed that Violet was nothing compared to her, and she could do anything she wanted because she was powerful. It was not worth it to affect her mood. Furthermore, the company was also doing really great. It was getting better and better with time. The daughters had also found their own happiness. As for her husband, he was obedient to her. Miranda was in the limelight, and the most important thing for her was the marriage of the two daughters. "Mommy, why did you mention Lionel and me again? Lionel and I have a good relationship. We are happy just the way we are. Logan, on the other hand, took Violet with him to the party. Shouldn't that be a matter of concern for you at the moment?" "What exactly is the meaning of this?" Elizabeth fussed. "You can only say that here, in front of me. Don't make anything obvious in front of Logan. He is not someone the Kingston family can offend. Don't you know how good he is for our company? Don't you know how much he can benefit us? You must not drag Elizabeth down," Miranda explained. "Mom, I know. I'm only mentioning this in front of my family," Elizabeth replied. "It's fine. I have been thinking of something. Logan is a smart guy. I'm sure he won't fall into Violet's trap. He's intelligent. He knows what he's doing. I don't think we need to worry this much." Logan, Violet, what's happening? How are these two even related? Lionel wondered. Of course, Lionel quickly found out that Violet had been hired as Logan's secretary. "I asked her to resign, but she just didn't listen. She was adamant at doing what she thought was best." Elizabeth was very angry. Luckily, Lionel broke up with her, or else she would have lied to me yet again. Chloe leaned her head on Lionel's shoulder and acted like a spoiled child. She did not notice that Lionel had stiffened. She really put a lot of effort to enter the Smith group as soon as she returned to the country. If the two of you are half as scheming as her, then I don't have to worry about anything anymore. Miranda sighed. The most important thing right now is to let everyone know what kind of person she is. Logan would definitely not want a woman with such a bad reputation to be his secretary, right? If he found out about her, he would surely fire her, Miranda added. "Charles, don't you have an old friend attending today's banquet? Call him." Miranda winked at her husband. Indeed, it would be very troublesome if Violet could gain a foothold in Los Angeles. It was definitely not a good thing for the Kingston family. Charles nodded, stood up, and went back to the study to make a call. Miranda and her two daughters looked at each other and heaved a sigh of relief. They knew that their schemes against Violet always worked. They didn't even have to do much. Lionel, however, could not laugh. Logan was a very dangerous person. He didn't think much before taking rash decisions. Even Miranda, who had a high EQ, was nothing in front of him. She had been trying to get Logan and Elizabeth together for years. How did Violet get his favor and become his secretary? Was it just to get a job with a good salary, or was it for another purpose? And what could that other purpose be? What did she want from him? If there was another purpose, then what would Violet do in the end? A series of questions occupied Lionel's mind. Violet's sweet smile surfaced in his mind, recalling the intimate contact between the two of them when they were in love. Lionel only felt numb. It was very uncomfortable. "Lionel, what's wrong with you? Are you not feeling well?" Chloe saw that there was something wrong and that he wasn't feeling too great, so she asked him if he was okay, out of deep concern. Episode 16. Identify him. "No, I'm probably too full," Lionel said as he grabbed Chloe's hand that was touching his forehead. Coincidentally, he got a phone call. He took the opportunity to shake off Chloe's hand and then took the phone to the courtyard to breathe. He went to the courtyard, a series of inexplicable emotions coursing through him. He didn't know why he was feeling this way, but he knew that it was not normal for him to react the way that he has. Meanwhile, Violet's popularity on the internet was only increasing. They were all discussing why she got the position, and there were even rumors that she had an unspoken rule. There were all sorts of rumors about her, some in her favor and some against. Elizabeth had not realized that because of her trickery, the public opinion would develop in the direction that she was most afraid of. She was confused, and she didn't know what was happening. What she feared the most was Violet and Logan getting involved. This is why she wanted Violet to stay as far away from Logan as possible. However, the current rumors that Violet and Logan's relationship wasn't just that of a supervisor and a subordinates, but that they also had some unknown, ambiguous relationship. This only sparked more interest, and people started searching more about the two of them. Haley opened her phone and browsed the forum for a while. She started to laugh, secretly. Violet's charm had taken over the internet. She always knew that there was something very special about Violet that made her stand out from the rest. When everyone saw her and Logan appear together, they all thought that there was something brewing between them. Logan was a very wealthy man. If something really happened between him and Violet, then they wouldn't have to be afraid of the Kingston family anymore. She raised her head and looked at Violet's close-up on the big screen in the hall. Adam, who was at the side, grabbed her hand and pointed outside to tell her that Noah had come. "Noah's here." She waved her hand vigorously. Adam and Amy also excitedly pulled on the back of the chair. Their eyes sparkled as they watched Noah walk over. He quickly opened his arms wide to hug them. All three of them hugged really tight. The kids were meeting Noah after a very long time, and they had really missed him. "Noah!" Haley and Noah had watched the two children grow up, so their relationship was naturally very different. When they were overseas, they often helped Violet to take care of the children. They were the family that Violet never had. She could count on them for anything at all. Violet was very grateful that she had them in her life, and that they would stick with her through thick and thin. "Why did you bring them here today?" Haley had already informed Noah about the news of the two little babies secretly returning to the country. Knowing that they had arrived safely, Noah finally let out a sigh of relief. Now that he had met them, he could not bear to blame them. He planned to slowly remind them in the future. "Where's your mommy?" he asked. "She's busy, doing something," Amy replied. "What could she be so busy with? She has just returned to the country. Was she so busy that she didn't even have the time to come and meet anyone? Could it be that the Kingston family has come to look for trouble?" "You'll know in a while," Haley remarked. "From now on, Uncle Noah can always accompany you. Are you happy?" Noah smiled and ignored Haley. He squatted down and coaxed the two little babies. "Happy!" It was better to come back, even if Mommy was busy with work. The children still have Haley, Mommy, and Uncle Noah to accompany them. "What? You're not going back?" Haley was surprised. After all, Noah had been flying around the world. He was very busy with his business, and only Violet could make him stay for a while. "I won't be going back before the end of next year. I have a few new cases here, and a new partner has come to the law firm. This year is very important if I want to make it big," Noah explained. "I knew you were the best." Haley looked at Noah sincerely. She knew Noah was so determined. Adam and Amy looked at each other and smiled. They secretly made a face. Haley saw Noah as if he had changed into a different person. Violet really has a big heart. What was she even thinking? She gave Adam and Amy to you to take care of. Isn't she afraid that the three of you will cause trouble? Noah chuckled. What are you even saying? I am very reliable. Haley pouted. The image of a strong woman collapsed in a second. To Noah, she was indeed just a little girl. So now we can eat together more often in Los Angeles. Okay. Bring the treasure with us. Noah rubbed Adam's nose. I am not a gluttonous cat, Noah. I'm just very hungry all the time. Mommy said I'm not fat at all. Adam tried his best to maintain his image. Amy, who was beside him, also nodded her head vigorously. At this moment, there was a loud sound. Noah and Haley turned around at the same time. They saw Logan and Violet coming in together. Noah said in surprise, Logan? How could it be this guy? Haley, is that Violet? He almost could not believe his eyes. Was the shining person in the crowd Violet? He knew Violet was good-looking, but he did not expect her to be so beautiful. Also, why were Logan and Violet walking in together? What was happening? Noah was confused and puzzled. You know, Logan. Haley deduced his tone, and her eyes followed closely behind Violet. She sighed at how the two of them looked so good together, and they were both the focal point of the crowd. I won't tell you, Noah smiled. Why would Violet and Logan appear together? You didn't tell me about this beforehand. We're even now. Stingy, vengeful, Haley whispered. If he had known earlier, he would have stopped her. He knew that after Violet returned to the country, she would need a job. That was why Noah had already arranged a position for her in the law firm. Could it be that she was now telling him that Violet had already become Logan's secretary? Because it was Logan, he could not even make Violet resign. Violet and Logan sat in the front row. Corey sat between the two of them. The camera intentionally or unintentionally stayed on her and Logan's faces. The media tried to capture some clues. Even if the two of them did not sit together, it was also interpreted as avoiding suspicion. Because of this banquet, their relationship was no longer simple in the eyes of the outside world. They were rumored to be divine, and even Janet had received the news. Janet was Logan's grandmother. She was very confident in her grandson. She knew that he would take care of everything. She knew that Logan was in the habit of fancying different women. As the only mistress of the Alexander family, she didn't want to waste time on such small matters. So she did not even turn on the television to find out more. She was just a secretary, and Lulu knew what to do. In Logan's eyes, there was no sense of propriety. He had always been doing what he wanted. He had wanted to make Violet lose face at the banquet, but he did not expect her to be in the limelight, which made him lose all his thoughts at the ceremony. His expression became uglier and uglier. When Garrett Alexander walked up to him and greeted him, he finally relaxed a little. You're here too? Yes, Mom must let me come over. She said I could meet you and bring you a gift. I'm fine. Tell her she doesn't need to worry. Logan was cold. He did not seem to be in a good mood. Garrett did not force him. He smiled and looked at Violet curiously. Violet also looked at him. The two of them nodded in a friendly manner. Last time I told you that the female lead of that idol drama should be Elizabeth. I think she is quite suitable. As long as you think it is okay, there is no need to inform me specifically. Elizabeth was a free girl. She wasn't his private property. That's fine. I will start making arrangements tomorrow. Garrett spoke to Logan warmly, but Violet did not see any warmth on Logan's face. He was very curious about the relationship between the two of them. Garrett walked away, and Violet continued to look at him. Since you like to look at other men so much, why don't I arrange for you to sit there? Oh, no. I'll just sit here. That's your boss's younger brother. You'll get to know him in the future, Corey said. Episode 17. Long Lost Friends. Did I ask you to speak? Logan frowned. Corey immediately shut up and looked at the stage. Violet was confused. She didn't know what was wrong with Logan. What had happened to Logan all of a sudden? In order to prevent Corey from being scolded, she could only keep silent. She secretly took out her phone and looked at the gossip forum to see if Logan was in a relationship with someone. The ceremony started and the leader gave a speech. After the speech, Logan went on stage to give out the awards, and the event reached its climax. Everyone was looking at what was happening. After the event started, the reporters wanted to ask about the relationship between Logan and Violet. After all, they were all here with a mission. Any small piece of information could be turned into money. Gossip like this was what reporters were waiting for. They knew that people were only looking out for gossip at all times. More than anything, news like this was great for their channel ratings. And that is what they were all fighting for. However, Logan had a cold expression on his face. Ordinary people did not dare to offend him. Some news anchors summoned all the courage that they had and asked Logan why Elizabeth didn't attend the dinner with him. Elizabeth was the hottest female ever and had millions of fans. Once she appeared, she would be the center of attention. There was no comparison between her and Violet. She was a star that people knew overseas today, whereas Violet was just an ordinary girl. Logan coldly glanced and pretended not to hear it. It was a very awkward situation for everyone around. Violet was dumbfounded. She had a blank expression and did not know how to react. Corey noted down the sign on that person's hand and asked people to find out who his backer was. His company could close down now. How dare he ask something like that? Who did he think he was anyway? How could he ask such a personal question? Logan would surely not spare him. Logan did not like being asked personal questions. He always ignored such questions, but they angered him a lot. Violet was busy looking for Haley and the twins and did not pay attention to what was happening around her. The atmosphere was in a deadlock when a clear female voice interrupted. Sir, are you a fan of Elizabeth? No wonder you care about her so much, but this is not within the scope of the questions you can ask. We should follow the rules. Mr. Logan, this way, please. Haley felt that she was saving the reporter's life. Otherwise, with Logan's current attitude, even if he could live safely, he would lose his job. Haley wanted to play her part to make the situation calmer, and so she decided to say this. Nowadays, in a place like Los Angeles, if an ordinary office worker lost his job, it was no different from losing his life. Surviving with no income in a city like Los Angeles was harder than one could ever imagine. There were hefty bills that had to be paid, and without a job, that was indeed impossible. After that person left, no one dared to disturb Logan anymore. Corey took a close look. Wasn't this the woman he saw at the airport? She was the planner of this event. She looked like a really professional woman. She was still working hard outside at such a late hour. Where were the two children? What was happening? What a coincidence. Logan also recognized Haley. He subconsciously looked around. He felt that in the next second, a chubby child would run into his arms and call him, "Daddy!" What happened at the airport earlier was still somewhere stuck in his head. Violet did not find Haley, but she met Noah, who brought Adam and Amy to the washroom. The four of them chatted and joked along the way to meet up with Logan. After all, she was Logan's secretary. She could not leave his side for too long. Adam bit the lollipop and skipped around. He pulled Violet with one hand and Noah with the other as they walked inside. Violet held Amy in her arms as they walked. As soon as they entered, they saw Logan standing up and smiling at them. His smile was very faint. Logan rarely smiled, and so it was something very shocking. "You're back." He definitely could not say this to Violet. He had never been nice enough to his secretary. Amy found that this handsome uncle was the bad uncle from the airport lobby. He shrank and hid behind Noah. "What's wrong? Are you shy?" Noah found it funny. Amy blushed when she saw the handsome guy. "Logan, it looks like Amy has a very high opinion of you." "Really? Then I am quite honored." Logan looked at the little girl and saw her big eyes peeking at him pitifully. For a moment, his heart softened, and he decided not to talk about what had happened at the airport the other day. "You two know each other." Haley did not know that Noah and Logan had something to do with each other. "I have never heard you talk about it." "I didn't even get a chance to explain my relationship with Logan, but if I had known earlier that Violet had become your secretary, I would have asked you to treat her. She is a rare talent." Noah regarded Violet very highly. This did not make Logan's mood any better. He only knew that she was different from the other women. Noah was all praises for her, but he was also someone who was always alone at all times. "Oh, come on, I'm really not that great," Violet said as she blushed. Noah took the opportunity to introduce the twins to everyone. Logan had always thought that the twins were Haley's children. Now, he thought that Noah was their father. "I didn't know you were married. How come you have a child who's this old?" "No, this is not my child. I'm just their godfather. Violet is their mom." Noah hurriedly waved his hand. "Violet and Haley are good friends of mine. These are Violet's two children, Adam and Amy." He dragged the twins out from behind and solemnly introduced them to Logan. Oh, so their names were Adam and Amy. It seemed that they were really pampered. Logan kept feeling that the two little faces were inexplicably familiar. Even Corey, who was behind him, took a few more glances. He even felt that he had never seen this kind of similarity in his life. However, the CEO had not dated any other women besides Elizabeth in all these years. Otherwise, Janet Alexander would not be at ease at all. All these years, Elizabeth, who was the closest to the CEO, had not given birth to a child. So there could obviously not be any other women either. "Your child." For the first time tonight, Logan lowered his head and gazed at Violet. He looked at Violet and said, "They are not like you." Violet was angered to death. Wasn't he indirectly saying that she was ugly? She secretly rolled her eyes and decided not to bicker at him with this. She pulled the twins toward the dining table. "Sir, there's nothing much for me to do here now. I guess the event is over. I'll take the children to eat something. Because I have to work overtime, I haven't prepared dinner for them yet," Violet asserted. She initially wanted to make Logan feel a little guilty and let her spend some alone time with the children. What if Logan decided to follow them to the restaurant? Violet could only pick up her pace and did not really want to sit with Logan. She lifted her skirt with one hand and pulled Amy along with the other to quickly walk through the crowd. Adam, who was wearing a small suit and a small bow tie, turned around and looked at Logan and also followed him. This uncle was really familiar. Seeing him made him feel like his nose was sore. He felt like there was something about this man, but then he remembered that he wasn't nice to his mommy. So, Adam kept a distance from him. Along the way, Noah explained how he knew Logan. We went to school together and have always been in contact. Of course, we are also good friends. The new investor of the law firm that I mentioned earlier is Logan, he said. Small world, right? When they were in school, the two of them used to be good friends and used to talk a lot. They also shared things with each other. Who would have thought that we would be in the same school after studying abroad? Now that we have returned to Los Angeles, we meet again. Perhaps this is fate. Episode 18. Watching coldly from the sidelines. Since Noah is a good friend, please take good care of Violet from now on, Haley said to Logan as they walked. Haley could not miss this opportunity. It would be best if this Logan liked Violet. That could work out in everyone's favor. It would be best for both of them, as well as the kids. Noah also asked Logan to take care of her. He had repeatedly guaranteed that Violet's professional skills were outstanding. Logan looked at Violet, who was sitting far away. His eyes were dark. He nodded lightly and agreed at that time. However, he became more and more dissatisfied in his heart. Violet was really very capable. As long as Logan stayed there, there would naturally be an endless stream of people coming up to talk to him. He just had to entertain them a little and then let Corey negotiate with them. Noah and Haley needed to entertain each other. Only Violet and the two children occupied a round table to eat and drink. Violet completely ignored the curious gazes around her and completely forgot about her identity as a private secretary. Does my secretary look like a ghost? If you took a photo of her and uploaded it to the internet, she would think that the Smith Group went bankrupt and isn't able to support a secretary. Uncle, my mommy is hungry too. The cake here is really delicious. You should try it too. Although Amy wasn't very happy to see Logan at the airport the other day, she now knew that Logan was not a bad person. He was also her mom's boss. Because of Logan's extremely handsome appearance, Amy immediately started to act cute and flatter him. Adam, on the other hand, looked at him vigilantly and nudged her, telling her not to be so enthusiastic. Amy's actions distracted Logan. Since she was trying to make conversation, she looked really cute. She did not notice the cake in Adam's hand either. Violet saw that Amy was a little disappointed and quickly took the cake. Uncle doesn't like dessert. I'll eat it. The cake that Adam chose looks very delicious, she said. Thank you, Mommy. Sure enough, Mommy was the best. Adam looked at Logan with resentment, turned around, and ignored him. I didn't expect you to be Noah's friend. Have you guys known each other for a long time? Violet said as Logan sat down. I did not expect you to have such a wide circle of friends, Logan said, looking clearly unhappy. We can't compare to your relationship with Elizabeth in secret. The sharp tone in the man's voice made Violet angry. She ignored him and started to mock him in the opposite direction. When are you going to reveal your relationship with Elizabeth, then? How do you know so much about everyone? Ordinary people did not know that Elizabeth was the young lady of the Kingston family. Logan's eyes were deep. Who exactly are you? It was not that Logan thought too much. It was just that, after so many years, there were too many women scrambling to climb into his bed. In his eyes, Violet was no different from other women, at least for now. Could it be that what she had done in the company earlier was to numb him and make him calm down? Don't you know me? Why did you choose me to be your secretary? For a woman like me who eloped with someone to anger her grandfather to death, the risk of being your personal secretary is really very high, she thought. The two of them were starting to stare at each other, neither refusing to give in. A talkative person came. Violet looked up and saw that the person was about the same age as Uncle Charles. He must be a helper of the Kingston family. She stood up and pulled Adam and Amy. Sorry, I will leave now. She came prepared and naturally had a long speech, but what she had written did not seem suitable for children to hear. She wanted to protect her children at all times. She wanted them to only hear good things and nothing that would have an impact on their fragile minds. In Los Angeles, beside the Kingston family, there was no one who was afraid of her. Violet was not in a hurry to explain, and the first thing she did was to bring Adam and Amy over to Haley and let the two children follow their godmother. She just wanted both of them to be in safe hands. I still have some matters to attend to here, she exclaimed in a loud tone. Haley was chatting with her colleagues at the company and waved her hand to let Violet go to work. Amy was a little worried and reluctantly held Violet's hand. It's fine. Adam, take good care of your little sister. We will be able to go home in a while. She got the two children to be comfortable and went back to find Logan. She was still nagging and Logan was listening. He did not know how much he believed her. He lowered his head and played with his fingers in boredom. He frowned and saw Violet coming over. She crossed her arms in front of her chest and looked like she was watching a good show. He said that his secretary could not be bullied. In fact, he was waiting for her to be humiliated by everyone around. She still had to rely on herself. Now that everyone knew her as Logan's secretary, Uncle Charles and Aunt Miranda would have to gather a lot of courage to fight her. Regardless of whether Logan was willing or not, the identity of his secretary would help Violet. Thinking of this, the smile on Violet's face became wider and wider. Logan was dazzled. What did this woman want to do again? Do you like to listen to stories so much? What is up with you? Why do you need to listen to all the nonsense here? Said Violet, with a rather stern look on her face. Mr. Logan, your secretary is really impudent. How can she talk to you like that? A reporter exclaimed. My uncle did not tell you that when Aunt Miranda was his secretary, she would help him make decisions directly. I'm not half as good as her, Violet answered. Miranda's secretary was promoted, and Uncle Charles was still the department manager. Miranda was known to cause harm to a lot of people. Uncle Charles's childhood friend's girlfriend's reputation was also ruined by her. She was a powerful character that everyone in Los Angeles knew about. You admit that you have a special working relationship with the CEO? He seemed to have discovered a huge secret and started to call the rest of the people. He must let everyone see Violet's face clearly. He did not mention Miranda. Sir, just get rid of this secretary of yours. The Smith Group's reputation cannot be tarnished by her. It seemed like there was someone who had specifically sent this guy here. It looked like he just didn't want Violet to stay with the CEO. In Los Angeles, a girl from the Kingston family had eloped with someone. Kenneth Kingston was also angered to death because of this, the man pointed out, and said that over half of the people in the hall already knew about this. A girl from the Kingston family. Logan was surprised. He had never heard of this before. It had happened about 4 years ago, and no one had told him about any of this. Of course, I can't compare with Miranda. Are you comparing the director to Charles Kingston? The wretched old man did not expect to be accused by Violet. He was just asked by someone to ruin Violet's reputation so that Logan would fire her. But he didn't want to offend Logan. Miranda had Charles Kingston entirely under her control. He couldn't make any decision at all. Everyone in Los Angeles knew that he was an utterly powerless man. He compared Logan to Charles Kingston. This was very dangerous. What was he even doing? He had a family to support. If he offended Logan, there was no one in Los Angeles who could help him get a job. The man quickly apologized and expressed that his intention was very different. Everyone should know that my parents are the legal heirs of the Kingston family. My grandfather even left 50% of the company's shares to me when he was alive. Why don't you help me ask Uncle Charles and Miranda when they will return the things they took from me? Violet answered. Initially, Violet wanted to come back to Los Angeles and reveal her identity. She thought that it would take a very long time to contact her grandfather's subordinates and friends. She never thought that things would start unraveling so easy like this. What was happening? Episode 19. Who did you offend? She did the right thing by coming to this event. She really wanted to call out Uncle Charles and Aunt Miranda for this. They had made it all so much easier for her. Logan's attention was not on them at all. His mind was churning. Violet was actually from the Kingston family? When did she leave the Kingston family? Why did she disappear like this all of a sudden? How did she live in a foreign country all these years? Under what circumstances were these two children born? Who was the children's father? Logan was more and more curious about Violet. The surrounding people had finally dispersed. Violet had officially entered the social circle as the secretary of the CEO of the Smith Group. Miranda's identity also surfaced, and more people began to find out about the Kingston Group. The matter of the true heir of the Kingston family group that Violet mentioned also had more people paying attention to it. This was all for the better. The Kingston family can no longer make me disappear without a trace. They don't have the courage to. After all, they wouldn't want to fight Logan directly. If it wasn't for this event, the Kingston family would have definitely hired someone to kill Violet. Noah and Haley watched from the side. They were initially prepared to help, but seeing that Violet had it handled well, they did not intervene and instead took care of the two children. They are so vicious. Haley looked at Noah in fear and nodded. In her heart, she was very glad that she forced Violet to apply for the job. After entering the Smith Group, one could not leave like that. The Smith Group was very powerful. She had to ensure Violet firmly occupied that position. You really know how to talk. The surroundings became quiet. Logan scolded Violet lightly. She did not hold back at all, and it shocked him. She indeed had the demeanor of the whole group's CEO's secretary and was not afraid at all. But it did not mean that she could be willful. Did she still care about his reputation? Reason can travel the world. I am not good at talking, but I am fighting with reason. Besides, I am helping you, sir, Violet stated. So, you are helping me. I am the one who recruited this man. Clearly, that man was here to cause trouble for her, but this woman was still speaking up for him with kindness and compassion. Logan felt that she was just trying to trick him. Violet smiled sweetly and pretended to be stupid as she said, "Anyway, that person was not recruited by me. Think about it carefully. Who did you offend?" "What does it have to do with me?" "If you didn't get me here with you, people like them wouldn't try to tarnish my reputation like that," Violet replied. "What do you mean?" Logan asked coldly. "What do you mean? Of course, you are the biggest threat there is. There are some things that people don't want to know. You don't know how smart these people are. So cunning," Violet answered. She did not want to go any further. Otherwise, it would be too deliberate. There were some things that Logan had to find out by himself. For example, what kind of sins did those people from the Kingston family commit? How did Charles and Miranda get to their current position? After knowing all of this, would he continue to date Elizabeth? Of course, that had nothing to do with him. What kind of attitude is this? Is it respectful to leave a conversation incomplete? How did you become a member of the Kingston family? What's the purpose of hiding your identity when you applied for the job? Logan questioned. I didn't mean to hide it. I just didn't expect the Kingston family would help me establish my identity so quickly. I thought they wouldn't recognize me at all. Violet felt wronged. She realized that she had made a mistake. Then you have to thank me. It was all because I brought you to dinner, right? Logan returned the favor. He returned the words that she had just said. Violet was speechless. She nodded her head and owed Logan a favor. Then I'll treat you to a meal, she replied. No need. Thank you so much, Logan asserted. I'm just your secretary, she said. So? Logan looked up at her. His eyes slanted over. He looked at her like she was a fool. All right, whatever you say is right. Then tell me, how do you want me to thank you? Violet was exhausted. She just wanted to get off work and go home, so she coaxed Logan. Oh, wait until I think of it. Logan smiled. He put his hands in his pockets and stood up. It turned out that Corey had come. They could go back now. Corey, please send Violet back first, he instructed. No need. I will go with Noah and the others. Violet interrupted and looked towards the dining table. The twins were eating happily with Noah. It looked like they were engrossed in deep conversation. They had completely forgotten about Violet. Are these two really your children? Logan teased. I know. I don't look like them, do I? She answered. They look like you now. They are very energetic when they eat, just like how you eat. Logan whispered in her ear and followed Corey out. This man really did not know how to talk. Violet was so angry that she almost laughed. He just did not want to see others happy. Corey was right. This CEO was too hard to serve. If anyone could make him happy, he would definitely not be an ordinary person. You really don't want us to drop home? Corey turned around and asked her. She has someone to accompany her. There's no need for you to be so concerned. Let's go. Logan replied and glanced back at Noah. This guy had never been so attentive to any woman. Could it be? Forget it. It had nothing to do with him. He still did not know where his relationship with Elizabeth was going. Why would he care about other people's business? He is like a child, Violet stated. After Logan left, Violet and Noah started talking to each other. He is about the same age as you. He only has a bad temper, but he is actually a good person. Noah could not help but laugh. He had known Logan for so many years. He had a certain understanding of him. If you work with him, you just need to know his temper. But I initially wanted you to go to my place, Noah added. If only you had told me earlier, Violet wailed. The two of them chatted as they walked. They went to go find Haley and the kids so that they could go home. But they did not notice a pair of gloomy eyes behind them. Logan, what's so special about this woman? I think you treat her differently, Garrett said as he rubbed his chin. He decided that he would go to the office more often in the next few days to check on Logan. Their mother was concerned about him. It was very late when she returned home that night. Violet didn't surf online a lot, so she naturally did not know about the storm she had caused. However, with her identity as Logan's personal secretary and Miranda's identity, it was destined that her future life would not be peaceful. Because the Kingston group was currently controlled by Charles and Miranda, some things had not been mentioned over the years. However, everyone in the circle knew that the heir appointed by Kenneth Kingston was not Charles Kingston. It was his second son, Richard Kingston, who was also Violet's father. Violet's parents were both killed in an accident, which affected Kenneth Kingston so much that his entire body collapsed. That was why Charles and his wife had the opportunity to take over the Kingston group. Once they took over, it was impossible for them to return it. After Mr. Kingston passed away, Violet left the country. 4 years was enough for Miranda to secure her position. In the current Kingston group, other than some old men who could not be chased away, the rest were Miranda's confidants. We have too many things to do after coming back this time. Violet, if we can get Logan's help, the situation will be completely different, Haley suggested. I think it will be very difficult. Logan is Elizabeth's boyfriend now, Violet revealed. Why? Haley did not believe it. Violet was the legitimate heir of the Kingston family. If he helped her get the position, Logan's reputation would be different. Everyone would know him as someone who stood up for what was right. It would help him make his reputation much better than it was. Episode 20. A Good Boss. The person they were talking about was Elizabeth. Violet could only tell the truth and stop Haley from fantasizing about it. Unless they turned against each other, Logan would not help her. This is ridiculous. Haley was fuming with anger. As soon as she returned home, she began to throw a tantrum. Good people suffer while bad people enjoy life. What kind of world is this? All of this is just so unjust. I'm just done with this kind of behavior. Lower your voice. Don't disturb the kids. I don't want them to hear all of this. It's not good for them. Noah gestured at her. It's not like there's no other way. Why must Violet suck up to Logan? Isn't this making things difficult for her? Violet helped the two children wash up and let them go to bed. The two children hugged their mommy and whispered for a while. Of course, other than Daddy, they could talk to their mommy about anything at all. Not long after, the two children started snoring. They really look like two little bunnies. Violet could not help but laugh. She kissed the two identical little faces and tiptoed out of the room. We need to think of a way. We definitely cannot fight with the Kingston family alone. I really did not expect Logan to be this kind of person. He actually likes Elizabeth. Besides Violet, there is no other good person in that family. They're all just pure evil. They are neither engaged nor married. He might not be on their side either, Violet remarked. It would be best if that was the case. Otherwise, I would curse him every day so that he wouldn't ever get any happiness in his life, Haley asserted in anger. She crossed her arms over her chest and sat on the sofa to throw a tantrum. She glanced at Noah and stood up to pour him a cup of tea. What does the law say about this? Kenneth Kingston himself wanted everything to be in Violet's name. So now is not the time to alert the enemy. We must first wait for a while and then investigate the current assets and shares of the Kingston Group. Otherwise, Violet will only have a mess waiting for her in the future. I think this is very difficult. I still need to find some friends to see if they can help. Haley began to plan silently in her heart. She also had some connections. I will also help. I promised Grandpa that I would listen to him. Violet's matter is my matter. Noah took a sip of tea and placed the cup on the table. It is so late. You guys should get some sleep. I will head home too. Violet listened to them in the stairwell and felt a little emotional. She did not go downstairs and instead went back to her room. There were some things that she had to think about. If Logan insisted on taking Elizabeth's side, then what should she do? She couldn't always rely on Noah and Haley for everything. She had to work hard too. The next day, Noah brought Adam and Amy to a school where they had made an appointment. That was organized by his friend's family. The school had a good reputation, and the tuition system was quite suitable. Haley and Violet had to go to work, so they couldn't keep the kids with them all day. It was best to send the two children to a trusted kindergarten. That was the safest place for them. They would also learn how to socialize with the other kids there. When Violet went to work, she was still a little nervous. Yesterday's dinner was like a dream. Everything that happened in the dream was somewhat blurry, but she clearly remembered that she kept arguing with Logan. She looked very strong. She liked to remember herself as someone like that. Logan would not make things difficult for her at work, right? Would he do something to embarrass her? Some thoughts raced through her head. She was very attentive when she went to the office early in the morning. She made coffee and sorted out all the important things. Laid the work calendar neatly in front of Logan and waited for his instructions at all times. She paid attention to Logan from time to time to see if he needed anything. She almost asked if Logan wanted to go to the bathroom. She even planned to open the door for him in advance so that he could go in and out easily. Logan could clearly feel the change in her attitude. She was like an alcoholic who had done something wrong after drinking. And when she woke up, she knew that she was in the wrong and tried her best to make up for it. She was really amazing. She was able to deal with all kinds of situations. No wonder she was able to stay in Hall Group. You want to cause trouble again? Violet did not react. You are famous. Logan teased her. He could feel the change in the atmosphere when he entered the office early in the morning. He believed that Violet had a dream that Miranda, who was not worth a penny, had become the secretary of director of Smith Group. It was really like the plot of an idol drama. It was just that she was completely different from the sweet and lovely main characters in the idol drama. She even had a little temper. "I am not as famous as you, sir. Everyone is talking about you breaking up with Elizabeth." After Violet finished speaking, she wished she could slap herself. She did not control her words. Logan's expression immediately became fierce. "You play with your phone during work hours?" Indeed, when Violet went to the bathroom, she surfed social media for a while. When she saw the scandal, she laughed until her stomach hurt. There were rumors in the company that Logan dumped Elizabeth. Violet, as Logan's new lover, took over the position. She imagined Miranda and Elizabeth's flustered and exasperated expressions. So cool. Although that was not the truth, as long as it could make Elizabeth angry, it did not matter if her reputation was compromised. She did not care that she was slandered by others at all. "I did not play with my phone. I heard it from others." She was not the only employee on the director's floor. There were other employees as well. Violet refused to admit it. Shallow? There had always been rumors between Logan and Elizabeth. Some of those were true, while others weren't. There were also many speculations about the outside world. He did not like private matters being discussed by the public. Seeing Violet's mischievous face, he could not help but feel annoyed. "You are either playing with your phone or gossiping at work. It is a waste of the company's resources. If you do not want to work, just hand over the resignation letter to Corey," Logan warned sternly. "Who said that I don't want to work? I like working now the most. I also like the current boss the most. My boss is the best boss in the world." Violet stuck out her tongue. She was completely shameless. If she didn't have a job, how could she raise her children? She quickly put her phone on the desk and went to the bar to boil milk for Logan's tea. Logan liked coffee, but he liked milk tea more. He liked the taste of chocolate the most, and Violet remembered it clearly. When he was in a bad mood, she would comfort him with a cup of chocolate milk tea. He was quite cute. Violet secretly smiled. After all, she was a woman with a child. Her maternal instincts were very strong. If Logan knew that she treated him like she treated Adam and Amy, he would probably fire her directly. She would not even need to prepare a letter of resignation. Boring. Although he knew that she was doing it on purpose, he praised her when she did this. Logan scolded her. His face red while at it. His eyes stared at her with a sense of majesty, making Violet somewhat flustered. Adam often looked at Amy with this expression when she didn't listen to him. Violet chuckled, thinking about all of this. Then she continued to boil milk tea. The two of them were busy with their own things. Corey came in and said that he wanted to go to Kingston Group to deliver some things. He asked Logan if there was anything he needed to do at the same time. "How about you don't go this time? Let Violet go. I can give her a chance," Logan suggested. What opportunity? A chance to be bullied by Miranda? What was Logan even saying? Why did he want her to go there? Violet mumbled in her head. Violet was very confused. What was happening?